In the past 6 months, I found myself enjoying self-improvement books. And one of those books were The Subtle Art of How to Not Give a Fuck. Now, I'm not a book reviewer, but in the spirit of self-improvement, which I talk about a lot, I thought that it would be good to talk about some things that I learned from the book. Specifically, one topic that really stuck with me. And the reason why I want to share this is because it seems like a concept that goes against the grain. It's something that goes against how we generally think as human beings. So the topic I'm going to talk about is how negative feelings are good and how they help us improve ourselves. When we do a bad action, our brain tells us that we're doing something wrong. But what exactly does it mean to be wrong? Well, in general, we'll end up feeling the negative emotions. We'll feel anxiety, we'll feel scared, we'll feel fear, we'll feel like we're endangered. And in general, these emotions make us feel yucky, but it also tells us the direction that we don't want to go in. And so if we know that a certain direction is making us feel bad, then all we have to do to feel good is to go the other way. So how do we do that? It's not exactly the same as flipping a switch and being like, oh, well, I'm doing something bad. I'm gonna flip a switch, go the other way, and boom, I'm doing the good thing. What do we do with these emotions when we feel them? Before we can decide on which direction we're going in or how to go in a good direction, we need to understand how to understand our emotions and how to use it in a better way. Most people fall to the pressure of the negative feeling and they end up letting that negative emotion consume them. But throughout this video, I want you to work with me to try to challenge these emotions with helpful advice that I'm going to give throughout this video. Alright, so first part, what to do with these emotions? Well, there's only two options. We can either properly find an emotional outlet or we end up lashing out at the people that we really care about. Now, proper emotional outlets are things like enjoying your hobbies, spending time with people, talking to other people that aren't related to the situation, and just giving yourself the time and the space to just reset yourself so that you can start thinking more logically. The truth is that when emotions are high and intense, it is hard to think about the rational solution or to even work with people and figure out what the best way to go forward is. So it's important to figure out how we can properly vent these emotions or else we'll end up lashing out at them. And there's nothing good that comes from lashing out at people. We honestly don't mean to do it. Any human being doesn't mean to say hurtful things, but it slips out. It comes out when the emotions are really high and you don't care as much or filter what you're thinking. And I'm not telling you to filter yourself. I'm telling you that it's important that we are aware of what we are doing so that we don't hurt people that we care about. So we don't say things that we wish that we could take back or that we regret later on down the road. It is harder in the moment to hold emotions in and to wait until you are in the right mental state to talk about these things, but it is a lot harder to come back from saying bad things that you wish you could take back. Because the truth is that once you say it, you can't go back. You have to live with the things that you say, and at that point, it comes down to mitigating all of the hurtful things that you said. But the best way to mitigate things is to not say it at all and to properly convey the things that you're trying to say. And yes, there's a third way. Instead of properly venting your emotions or lashing out to people, you could also choose to ignore your negative emotions, but that's never the answer either. Both lashing out and ignoring your emotions do the same thing. They don't allow you to move forward and they end up hurting people because you are not communicating properly. In general, we shouldn't ignore emotions, and especially negative ones we should never ignore. When you're lashing out at people, at least you're getting the emotion out and you're not holding on to a lot of things. But when you keep things pent up and you just hold on to it, you don't let anyone know how you're feeling, you end up building up resentment and not giving people the chance to help you or figure things out with you. And when you're holding on to those negative emotions, you're also holding on to that one specific event that made you feel that way. So it just stops you in general from moving forward, from learning to improve, from learning to be better. When you don't let go, you give people or you give the situation power over your own life. When you don't forgive and you don't forget, you just hold on to that thing that's hurting you so bad that it ends up controlling your mindset, it ends up controlling your mental state and how you view life in general. In short, it doesn't help you move forward in life. And when you are in this negative mindset, whether you want to or not, it's going to affect the people around you and you're going to spread that negative mindset. So just take accountability and don't let emotions be the reason that you do something wrong. Some people say, I didn't mean to do it, I was angry. Well, you did mean to do it because you did. Being angry is not an excuse for hurting the people that you love. So my general advice, don't hold on to negative emotions, but if you end up doing that, then err with the side of caution and try to make sure that you're not hurting anyone in the process. And the best way to not hurt people in the process is to figure out how you can offload that emotion as quickly as you can. People end up getting hurt a lot because there are misunderstandings, because people don't understand how other people feel. Just think about the amount of times that you wish somebody understood the way that you were thinking, or that you were conveying the points a little bit easier so that someone can understand where you're coming from. The truth is that anger and negative emotions come from not being able to understand the other side of things, not being able to understand why people are angry or how people can do certain things. But usually there's always a reason why people do negative things. And it's mostly because people aren't taking care of their emotions. People are holding on to those negative things in life. People are not properly outletting their emotions, and people are lashing out at other people. In short, bad things happen because unhappy people are spreading around more negativity. And it's okay to not be happy. I think that I'm just saying that it's important to get out of that mindset as fast as we can. Give yourself the time to breathe. Give yourself the time to feel negatively if you have to, but allow yourself to feel the emotions the right way. I have made a lot of mistakes and have said a lot of things that I wish I could take back. But the truth is that I can't take it back, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life. And so if I could talk to my younger self, then I would tell myself to stop talking when I don't know what to say next. At all times where I was going to say something that I didn't mean to say, it was usually because I ran out of things for a valid, proper argument. I would say something, blurt it out, and just storm away. And then later on after the argument, I would think back to myself and wonder if I could have said something better, if I should apologize. I would think about other arguments that I could have made that could have been better. But the truth is that if I just told whoever I was talking to, hey, I'm not in the right state to argue about this, can we talk about it later? I would be able to give myself time to just think about everything, to process all the emotions, and then to come back with valid arguments. Now, does this mean that you're weak for walking away from an argument? No, it means you're still going to have the argument, you're still going to stand up for yourself, but it just means that you're putting a pin in things and waiting until your mind is in the right place. And I wish I learned this from a younger age. If I learned this 10 years ago, then I probably would have been able to resolve a lot of situations in a better way, in a more amiable way, where everybody ended up being happier. And so let's say you try this. Let's say that you tell somebody that you need a bit of a timeout so that you can think about all these things and process your emotions. What do you do now? Well, the first thing is to understand that negative emotions aren't bad. We're always going to feel them. Life is always going to find a way to put something bad in our lives, and we're going to feel these things. Fuck life, by the way, for doing that. But these negative emotions allow you to move forward. It allows you to make peace with issues, and it just proves that you're human. So for example, I'm going to talk about a pretty sad topic, but people passing away. It is a horrible time when someone that we love passes away. And the negative emotions remind us that it's a horrible time. But the negative emotions push us to try and stay away from those negative emotions. Our body tells us that we feel super horrible about the situation. We feel like crying, but we feel sad the most because it's time to move on. It's time to make peace with the fact that life is going to go on without this person. So negative emotions tell us that it's time to move on, but most importantly, it also reminds us that there's a better life waiting for us. Not as in there's a better life without the person, just that there is a point in life that we can go to where we start to feel less shitty about everything. That we will move on and the pain will be less than it was the day that somebody passed away. So remember that you feeling these emotions is a reminder that you can feel better one day, that life can be a little bit better and a lot less painful, and that eventually you will get back to a place where you will feel better. So whether you lash out or you hold in your emotions or you properly vent your emotions, and hopefully you properly vent your emotions, we need to now take time to reflect on how we felt, what we could have handled better so that we don't make that same mistake in the future, but also to make sure that we don't hurt the people that we love. And at this point, whether it's in the video or you're working on a problem while watching the video and you decided to take a step and you try to make things better, you try to make amends, or you try to find peace in your own heart, I want to take the time to say that I'm proud of you. You don't get to hear this enough, and you may not see it now, but facing the problem that you're dealing with now is something that a lot of people don't do. And so I'm proud of you for trying, for doing things that people would normally be scared to do. And trust me, I am there with you. I am with you 100%. I am facing scary things every day. I am facing these negative emotions every day. I mean, I'm a content creator, so I post every day, and I end up being exposed to the internet, to the expectations of not being a failure, which in all honesty is the same things that you end up dealing with. So we'll get through it together. And now that you have me as part of your support system, are there other reasons why I'm strongly promoting mental health and mental improvement? Besides being able to handle our emotions properly, what else is there to it? Well, improving ourselves does a lot of different things. And the two main things is it helps us become more resilient to a lot of petty things, and it helps us be more emotionally mature. And I mean, if you've ever dealt with anyone who's emotionally immature, you don't want to be that person. So when we properly handle our emotions, when we learn to be emotionally mature, we're able to focus more, and we're able to spend more time with people that we care about and the things that we love to do. So let the emotions come in, but don't hold them in. We're not supposed to be happy all the time, and we're not supposed to be sad all the time. But it's kind of similar to looking at a butterfly that lands on you. It comes into your life, you watch it, you look at it, you reflect on how beautiful it can be, and then you let the butterfly go. So if you like the video and you would like to support me, feel free to like, drop a comment, and subscribe. And as always, keep improving, stay productive, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.